Korie awoke, gasping. The world was still dark, but the soil was crumbling away. Raising both hands and two now bootless feet, he shoved as hard as he could. The wood groaned. Another shove, then another, and the lid clattered away. There was a light at last, in the space beyond. Gingerly, he dragged himself out and dropped onto a cobblestone floor, peering around. Oh, shit! He was in the crypt. Korie took several paces in several directions before noting that there did not appear to be any exit. Certainly not back the way he had come. That coffin lay shabby and empty, crumpled in the middle of the floor. Korie cursed quietly and turned on his heel. There were only a handful of tombs in here. The first he saw with a spike of alarm read Lee Fielding. The one next to it read Pansy Lemmings. "You're both dead then," Korie mumbled, unsure how to feel. On another tomb he read the name Bertie Paulson. It felt familiar somehow. Korie paused and reflected. Sandra. He eyed Bertie's tomb, then turned to the last. Really, he'd always known what it would say. Sure enough, as he approached, footsteps echoing flat in the tiny stone room, the name came closer in the candlelight. Luca Heights. Bile bit at the back of his throat again as the name blazed into his mind. Without his bidding, Korie felt his lips form the word. Louis. At once, he clasped a hand over his mouth. Shut up, he thought hard. Shut up, shut up. Then, a noise sounded in the stillness. Bing, ding, bing, ding. The trill of notes played, muffled in gloom. Korie knew the tune. He froze dead still, listening. Again it came. Bing, ding, bing, ding. Then, horribly, predictably, a jaunty metallic voice began to sing. By your side. No! Korie threw his hands over his ears. The voice was still singing. Peace of mind. Shut up! But already the jingle had ceased. Breathing hard, Korie looked down at his phone. It was still on silent. No hint of it. So where in hell had that damned song played from? Deciding to put as much distance between himself and wherever it was, Korie began scouring the little space. There were no doors, no windows, save the stained glass across the roof. Was that an animal emblazed on it? Stepping across the wrecked coffin, Korie peered up. The colours twirled in a knot round and around. A snake, striped in an endless loop. Creepy, he muttered, snapping a picture. It was posted hastily with the caption, Update, stuck in a crypt. Place is dead, but decor's a solid 6 out of 10. Resettling, he took a long breath. Right, time to get out. Still, there was no door to the grounds beyond. Korie revolved on the spot, eyes roaming every nook and cranny, until at last he spotted. You've gotta be kidding me. He had been wrong. There was a door. It stood old and rotten, but quite distinctly there. The thing had a heavy-set handle, a circle of rippling steel. It did not lead to the outside. Groaning in a frustrated resignation, Korie stepped up to it and looked down. The trapdoor lay silent at his feet. Fuck! He snapped a picture. Update. Korie's going down, but not the way he likes. XXX. Posted because somehow his signal was clinging on. Then he knelt and gave the trapdoor's handle an experimental tug. It did not budge. Bing ding bing ding. The jingle sounded again, off somewhere in the darkness behind him. Bing ding bing ding. Another tug. The handle was stuck in his hands. By your side, the metallic voice was singing. Korie threw all of his weight away from the trapdoor, hanging on. Peace of mind. The tune began again. Bing ding bing ding. Pulling hard, pulling harder. Bing ding bing ding. Just get the damn thing open. By your side. He could get out. Peace of mind. Again it went around. Bing ding bing ding. Korie let out a low huff of effort that swiftly gave way to a yelp as a thud sounded right behind him. A hand against marble. And though he tried so hard not to, Korie felt his head turn to look. Bing ding bing ding. The muffled tune was playing at his back. It came from "By Your Side," thud, inside Luca's tomb. Korie screamed, "Peace of mind!" "Fuck off!" Redoubling his efforts, he began again at the trapdoor. Cold sweat dripped at his forehead, streaking his eyes, running smears of glitter down his cheeks. And all the while, that damn jingle continued to play. Bing ding bing ding, bing ding bing ding, by your side, peace of mind. Thud, thud, thud. Something was still slamming on the inside of Luca's tomb. Bing ding bing ding, fuck off! Another tug, a heave, a grunt. Bing ding bing ding, by your side. No! Thud, peace of mind. Thud, bing ding bing ding. One final haul that chucked Korie flat onto his back. Bing ding bing ding. The trapdoor swung open. Thud, thud. By your side. Korie did not even pause for breath. As a bundle of sequined gown and wide eyes and flickering phone screen light, he tumbled through into the darkness. He fell, catching vaguely at a rickety ladder that crashed up to meet him in the black. Together they managed to slow his descent until he found solid ground. High above, the square grey light of the trapdoor glowed. From all the way down here, did it look brighter somehow? And warmer? The grey fluttering steadily into amber. Korie turned away. He was stooped in a passage built in red brick. It arced in a curve all around, giving the rough feel of a rabbit warren. Korie glanced in both possible directions. He wanted to move, but which way? He realised then that he was live again. Neon chat bubbles were popping up all down the screen. His own dimly illuminated face peered up at him through the stream. "Hi," he blinked. When did he... He was greeted with a flurry of messages. "Korie! Did you go down good? Still rocking it in that dress. Girl's your colour, baby. Where you at now? Hot, hot, hot. Korie, Korie, Korie. Hot, hot, hot." Rubbing at the corners of smudged eyes, Korie began to jabber to the viewers. "Not got much time, you gorgeous lot." He turned backwards and forwards, showing the tunnel. "Got a pick. Left or right, and this time we can't do both." He was almost calm. All the night's events sat hazily on the outskirts of his mind like a dream. Perhaps he was dreaming. The comments overwhelmingly chose right, so right he went, holding the camera aloft to light his way as the stream continued. He lost count of the steps, lost track of time. Glancing up, he sighed, spotting a snaking crack obscuring the top corner of the screen. "Shit. Hey chap, what time is it right now? UK time?" Answers rolled in thick and fast. "Slut o'clock, slut o'clock, slit o'clock, scut o'clock, shit, fuck, autocorrect." Shaking his foggy head, Korie tried again. "Nah guys, I mean really, what time is it?" The chat began again, a call and response long established across Korie Gray's content. "Slut o'clock, slut o'clock." Oop, well, that one actually works. "Slut o'clock, slut o'clock." "No, guys." He tapped on the exit button. But the stream did not end. "I'm really actually asking. Slut o'clock, slut o'clock, slut o'clock." "No." But no matter what he did, the screen stayed doggedly on the live. Viewer count slowly rising as he thwacked on the tiny X button as hard as he could. "I've got to go." Nope. He was still unwillingly live. Fuck. He very nearly threw the phone away, but told himself he needed the light. Some small niggle also tugged at him to keep filming. Because maybe, the niggle whispered, maybe tonight you'll film something actually important. The phone was up once again. He did not recall when he'd raised it back to his face. The chat window continued to scroll on by with every steady footstep. On and on, down the dark passage of red brick. "I'm blaming you guys for this," Korie grinned at them. "It never ends. Lost, rip, F in chat, F, 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 still looking hot. How'd you do it, baby? Still smoking, even in a sewer." Korie grimaced. "I'm not in a sewer." A pause. A glance down. Dry feet. I don't think. Maybe he was glad for the pseudo company. Some of the dark was fading away. This could still be a fun weekend, right? He hadn't seen anything so bad. What had he seen that had been so scary? Sparkly eyes blinked. "I don't remember." "Remember what?" chap kept asking. "Dunno," an honest reply. Korie paused for a rest and leaned against the curved wall. "What you saying then? Hose and glow sticks? Still sexy in a tunnel?" Tilting his head back, exposing a well-hickied throat, Korie raised an arm and held the phone out, scanning his gold-clad form completely up and down. He was laughing gaily as the comments roared their approval. Hot! I would. Clipped. Screensaver unlocked. You better be dropping prints of this fit soon. Sexy. By your side, peace of mind. Cute! Korie stared at the screen. By your side, peace of mind. The fuck? By your side, peace of mind. More were flooding the screen. By your side, peace of mind. He clicked and clicked, but they kept on coming. Stop! Block. Ban. Block. Nothing worked. The messages came over and over. By your side, peace of mind. Then, from so far away and yet so very close behind him, came the jingle. Bing ding bing ding. Nope! He was off the wall and running, down the passage as it sloped, anywhere to get as much distance as possible between himself and bing ding bing ding as Korie broke into a sprint, sequins scraped brick, dragging tears through glittering gold. By your side. Fuck off! Words flung over his shoulder as he tore further and further down. Where were his boots? Why was everything so cold? Or was it too warm? Peace of mind. The jingle was vanishing away in his wake, but he did not slow down. The chat was exploding with questions and praises and eagerness to see where the night's adventures would lead next. Korie glanced at it with every step and was starting to say, Can the mods get onto those spammers in chat, please? Get them banned and... Holy shit! Sandra? A shape had come hurtling towards him from a new passageway off to the left. Bedraggled and bloody from a cut at her forehead, Sandra gripped Korie with both hands. Oh, thank God! I thought I was the only one left. What are you on about? Korie stared at her. The others have gone. Gone? No, they're dead. The fuck? Sandra's pale, lacy dress was caked in red. The more he looked, the more it rose, dripping in great globules down her front. It was on her face. It was on her hands. Hey, get off me! Korie shoved her backwards, leaving 2 bloody clasp marks across his arms. Fuck! What the hell did you do? I didn't do anything, she protested as Korie batted away her reaching hands. They were dead when I found them. I swear, they were already dead. Lee's caved-in face flashed like a lightning strike across Corie's memory. Shit! Another flash, this time a memory of Pansy smashing herself against the balcony window. Shit! You believe me, right? Bloody hands were grasping at him again, staining gold sequins crimson. Yeah. Korie raised his phone. The screen was blank, the battery warning low. Heaving a sigh, he tucked it back into his underwear and asked, Where'd you come from? The house? Sandra nodded. We can't go back. I don't know what's going on, but there's something wrong in that place. Well, we can't go back that way. Korie jerked a thumb up the way he'd come running. Which way? Sandra followed his thumb, looking confused. Back up there! Korie turned and was met with a stretch of red brick wall. No sloping passage at all. The hell? Fear gripped him then, built higher than ever so far that night. Chipped nails flickered colours as he ran his hands across the solid brick. But I just came from this way. The fog bulged in his brain, sending him giddy. Sandra Paulson was staring nervously at him. Are you on drugs? What? No! Korie shook his head and rolled his eyes. Geez, lady, not every queer's a deranged junkie. I just thought, because of the things you post and the places you film yourself in. Korie sighed. Alright, look. He rolled his shoulder painfully, trying to click it back into its right place. It was scabbed and scraped. How had that happened? Oh, yeah, right, the balcony. Did he forget? Shit, maybe he was high. But that wasn't possible. Trying to fully meet Sandra's nervous gaze, he said, I dabble, sometimes. At clubs and parties and whatnot. I was high last night, but a 1,000,000-hour Uber ride and a hangover from hell later, and I'm firmly feet on the ground again. Okay? Sandra seemed to be considering him. Eventually, she said, All right. Good. Now, Korie leaned around her to poke his head down the only other optional route. Dark and round, red bricks. Shall we get out of here then? That thought rallied both of them, and together they hurried on, eyes focusing hard in the inky blackness. You got a phone? Korie asked. I left it in my bag. In your bedroom? Yes. Why? I do not use it very often. What, not even for the gram? Clock app? Fucking WhatsApp? Are those websites? Korie groaned. Yikes, lady. But hey, each to their own. Keeping off grid a bit? I can respect the crap out of that. Can never be me. Sandra seemed unsure if she'd been complimented or not. Thank you. Her voice sounded strained right alongside him, though he could barely make her out. Hey, you doing okay there? Korie nudged her elbow. Yes. There was a strange rasp to her words, like a wheeze when the throat is ready to cough. Sandra fell into him a little as they ventured on in the dark. Korie was nowhere near strong, but he held her up as best he could. Come on. He steered until they came to another wall across the passage, splitting the path ahead. Up or down? Which do you fancy? Korie offered. He didn't like the way Sandra was breathing, shallow like sandpaper, and somehow the sound was all around them. Echoing from her head, hung low in his arms and creeping at the back of his neck. Up, the woman whispered, and up Korie took them, along and along the narrow passage that curved ever so slowly at an incline. Towards what? They would find out. For real, are you okay? Korie shook her slightly after a particularly nasty gurgle that seemed to bounce all around the walls. Yes, I'm fine. She sounded better, but that rasp had not gone away. Korie could feel it itching at his skin. Look! He pointed fruitlessly in the darkness, but the very tip of a fingernail could just about be seen. It stood dark against what he saw before them on the path. It was a window, thin and grime-soaked, but there. Together they hurried towards it, glad for the thin slither of grey moonlight it offered. If we can get it open, Korie planned as they went, we can climb out and yeet. Climb and yeet, Sandra repeated. Korie patted her on the shoulder. Just focus on breathing, you. When they reached the grubby window, he seized a handful of his slit skirt and scrubbed a clean circle into the glass. They both peered out. Sandra gasped. Korie groaned. No fucking way! The window revealed a view of the grounds, the maze, the end of the gravel driveway, the crypt, all from a height that could not be anything other than the first floor of the manor. Shit! Tilting his head, Korie saw the balcony, its doors smashed open, and the drain pipe he had half fallen down. Well, scrapping the climb and yeet plan then. There was no drain pipe nearby to make another attempt, and if they survived the drop, it would mean at the very least a selection of broken bones. Let's find another way down. They bid the window farewell and pressed on along the winding hall. Brick had given way to striped paper and boarded floors. When had that happened? Turning a sharp corner, the pair saw candles, far, far ahead, clasped in sculpted hands. The scratchy, shallow breathing came again, and Korie hoisted Sandra up on his arm, encouraging her to walk. She stared ahead and clutched at him. It's okay. Reassurance in the midst of all this. You're okay. Just breathe. Another rasp came, longer this time. Korie patted Sandra hard on the back. All good? The hallway was growing slowly lighter, towards and towards the flickering tiny flames. Then Sandra halted her steps. Korie tripped at her heels. Hey, what's up? Shaking fingers were pointing. What? Squinting in the gloom, Korie jumped as a man appeared standing right before them. He was strangely pale, unmoving. Not even his shoulders rose or fell. Statue, Korie gasped, clutching at his racing heart. Holy crap, scared the crap out of me. Sandra said nothing as Korie examined the marble figure. It was a man, not so tall as Korie was, even without boots. He had a scruffy beard and crinkled eyes. One hand was extended out, reaching, grasping. The other was scrabbling at his throat. The haze was lifting from his cloudy memory as scrapes of the night's events fell back into place amidst his mind. Recalling them made Korie turn his eyes down to examine the statue's base. Sure enough, a plaque sat there, distilled in darkness, but just about legible. Korie read it aloud. Quieso mihi spiritum da. Final breath. Huh? Rasping came again, filling the hall. Sandra moved a step closer, eyes wide. Korie encouraged her on, tugging at her lacy sleeves. We gotta go, come on, just keep breathing, you got this. Something darker than the grey gloom of the hall was dribbling from the statue's mouth. Sandra sagged in Korie's arm, feet sliding as they began to pass. Come on, Korie encouraged, trying with all his might not to see the dark dribble cascading down and onto the floor, onto their feet. That rasping, jagged breathing was surround sound now, pouring with the blood. Sandra clasped at her chest. No, it cannot be you. However many steps they took, that statue stayed tight at their side. The hall opened out onto the candlelit staircase, but they could not reach it. They remained rooted, steps meaning nothing, stationary in spite of everything. And always the marble-carved man reached out, and always it was to Sandra that begging hand extended. "Who is he?" All Korie could think to try was asking. Sandra answered through a hand over her mouth. My husband." "Uh-huh. Happy marriage, was it?" The dragging breath threatened to crescendo over them, and slowly it dawned on Korie that Sandra was not the one making such sounds. Her breath hitched and broke. She sniffed and sobbed, but she did not rasp like sandpaper. "Ah, shit!" On and on the noise went, closer than ever all around that hall. Korie did not want to turn around. Even as thick, treacly blood stuck to their feet and Sandra began to wail, he tried so damn hard not to look over his shoulder. "We were happy," the words shook. "We were happy for 25 years. Then what happened?" Korie could not repress the shudder striking right through him as something stepped up behind them, heaving ragged sighs. Sandra stood frozen before the statue, its reaching hand mere inches from her face. He grew very ill." She closed her arms close, shrinking as more haggard breathing drew around them. "He was so very ill. Something in his lungs. He was tired all the time. Our life ceased to exist as we knew it. There was nothing any doctors could do. All they could offer him was..." The filthy, scratching breath came again, and as it did, the statue began to quake. Korie leapt back, but Sandra seemed unable to move. She kept speaking, though every word seemed to be costing her terrible effort. "We had lost everything by the end. The house, our savings, all gone. Chasing snake oils and far-fetched hope. And none of it changed a thing. We should have been making most of the time we had left, not frittering it away trying to get more." Korie felt his own breath grow cold, clouding the air as the hall dropped into a sudden chill. He flattened himself against the far wall, ignoring the horrible sounds rising out of the shadows. Sandra sniffed. "I was tired too." The rasping was upon them. The statue collided inward, shattering to rubble. "I was tired, Bertie." And so the confession came. "When you lost your breath that day, The rasp became a growl right at their ears. "I just thought... enough." The growl became a snarl. "I'd had enough, and so had you, and then you were, and I..." Snarls turned to roars, cold at their chests, spurring Sandra on. "You were asking for it, and I knew I could give it to you, but I just thought, what good would it do to prolong it all again, to watch you suffer?" The roar rose high, and Sandra collapsed into her knees, crying, all right. I was not truly thinking of ending your suffering. I was thinking of myself. I didn't want to do it anymore, so when you needed it, I just kept it in hand." "You will want to skedaddle now, Kaelin dear." Korie yelped and swung around. Vigil was standing at the edge of the candlelight, the butler beside him. Both had their eyes upon the cowering Sandra as Vigil addressed Korie again. "I'd hurry if I were you. This is not yours to face." Stumbling over crushed marble, Korie felt his dress catch and pull. A few tugs had him free, leaving a large strip of sequin skirt behind. The rasping sandpaper roar grew and grew. The sound engulfed Sandra's cries, shaking the air as her sobs rose in icy gasps. Korie fell into the patch of light, eyes wide, as behind him, crooked shapes withdrew themselves from the walls, cracking out in jagged juts of white, stark against the black. Row upon row of them tore into place, making rings around and around where Sandra lay. Icy breath wheezed a hurricane up through the shadows. "I'm sorry," the last words from Sandra Paulson's lips, as the hallway burst into a mouth Teeth snapped with one final guttering breath. The hall jaws swallowed. And Sandra was gone. What? Korie scrambled to the banister and staggered onto his feet. What the actual fuck? Now. Vigil brushed some dust from his collar, eyeing Korie. There's no need for strife. It was her choice, after all. He turned to the butler. Back downstairs for the next, then. The butler bowed his head, and the pair began to descend the stairs. Wait! Korie leapt after them. What is all this? What's... But Vigil interrupted him. Oh, do not spoil things with questions you know very well I shall not answer. The night is wearing on. They had not slowed their pace. Korie hesitated at the top of the staircase. But I am rooting for you, Kaelin Bursar. A casual wave as the pair reached the ground floor. You are by far the most interesting one. So go and do something interesting. And tell your voyeurs I said hello. Did they walk away into the sitting room or kitchens? Or had the pair simply vanished altogether? Korie could not tell. Something interesting, he breathed, grasping onto the banister tight. Something... Wait, what? Light was shining at his hip. Knowing what it must be, Korie withdrew his phone and stared once again into his own face, streaming live to his followers. I think I'm gonna die here. He didn't say anything else, just held the phone and stood, shivering. The shattered mouth was just a hallway again, but he dared not venture down. Chewing his lip, he peeked over the banister to the floor below. Vigil and the butler were nowhere to be seen. Still, did he really want to risk it? Absolutely fucking not. Only one choice, then. So, holding the phone out before him, trembling tears surging the corners of his eyes, Korie began to wind his way up to the second floor. He should speak. He knew that. A dozen witty remarks flitted to his tongue and fell unused into nothing. The chat twittered and popped. Message after message came and went. He wasn't reading them. Until... By your side, peace of mind. By your side, peace of mind. Mods. His throat was dry. Can you, get rid of the spammer? Thanks. The second floor lay still, untouched and undisturbed. Fighting the urge to panic, Korie began to tiptoe. Old wood squeaked. Dust lifted. Cobwebs hung low, sparked by candle flame. Fuck. Every step felt wrong, every move of every muscle. Chat lit up in a flurry, grabbing his attention. At Mod Amelia, Hun, we can't ban them. At Mod Stevie, they keep coming back. Then others, what's it saying? What's it mean? Is it a song? No, it's a slogan. By your side, peace of mind. Pop off, Spam King. Korie glanced at the comment popping up and up and up. By your side, peace of mind. Block them then. He tapped the profile. It won't let me. Signal's fucked here. But the mods replied at once. At Mod Charlie, we can't, baby. It won't let us. At Mod Moxie, hey, at C Cyber, how about you just fuck off and quit clogging the chat? What? Korie threw himself closer to the screen. What's their handle? Right on cue, another message popped up. By your side, peace of mind. Sent by at C Cyber. Korie tore down the rest of the corridor and flung himself into the bedroom he'd been assigned. His case sat sprawled open as he'd left it, the bedsheets a mess. One of Lee's socks lay crumpled on the rug. Paying no attention at all, Korie set the phone down on the nearest surface and took several steps away. Both hands covering his face, Korie crouched down low to the floor as the rush of shakes gripped him. They rattled his lungs and scraped up his throat. And he let it all come out in a tidal wave. Fuck, fuck, fuck! Words were too much. He could only shiver and shake. Notifications flashed, a riot of colour spilling into the dim bedroom. It couldn't be real. This was a hoax, a really shitty prank. Somehow, somewhere, it was not real. None of it was real. Not Lee, not Sandra, none of it. Somehow. More colours burst, messages one after the other. Korie gasped a shaky groan between his fingers, glancing up at the screen. Then, he screamed. Without thinking or seeing, he had stood the phone on the desk. That desk. It stood bold and plastic, littered with stickers. Only now, it was not empty. A shadow-come-humanoid form was sitting in the chair, its back to the room, holding Korie's phone in a smudgy hand. The stream was still live. Chat continued, lighting up the screen as Korie stared, horrified, from the floor. What? The shadow shape gave him no reply. It just sat, watching the phone flicker and illuminate. As slowly as he dared, Korie struggled to his feet. That's my... Drawing a little nearer, the chat window became clear. What does it mean? Hey, @CCyber. Calling @CCyber. You replying or just spamming? By your side, peace of mind. By your side, peace of mind. I know that line from somewhere. By your side, peace of mind. Then, all colour drained from Korie's face and his heart, because the shadow spoke. Cupiditas Cyber. No, Korie made a dive for the phone. That's it! Chat was racing. OMFG, yes! Fuck's sake, that load of crap. Cupiditas Cyber can get fucked. My parents lost their pensions to that arsehole. Half my student loan too. I'd save 2k for my cat's surgery. Gone in seconds. My mum too. My uncle got and my mum. Fuck that guy. Luca Heights can die in a hole. Luca Heights got what was coming to him. Should have got worse in my opinion. Can't believe you dated that scumbag. Don't blame Korie, he didn't know. Luca tried to pin it on Korie too, didn't he? OMG, yeah! The cops went looking for Luca's phone, but it wasn't there. Luca told them Korie must have had it. OMG, he tried to frame his own boyfriend. Bet he stashed it with the money. Poor Korie. That's why he had the whole rebrand, duh. Don't worry, Korie, your hoes are all with you. Hell yeah, we got you. You're well shot of him now, baby. We love you, Korie. So brave, Korie. So hot, Korie. And you had a proper glow up. Bet he's sat in a cell wishing he could have you now. Luca Heights is dead, babe. Ha, my bad. Bet he's burning in hell wishing he could have you. Bet. How'd he die? Shanked in prison. Ouch. Apparently it was the nephew of some lady CC robbed of 100k. Holy shit. Shit! That's what I heard too. Defo shot of him then. You're a damn hero, Korie. He took you for a ride too, remember, Kate? It wasn't your fault. How'd you all know this? @CJ Simon shared a link. Article. Gay lover of TikTok lip sync star arrested last night. Article link. Tech whiz Luca Heights jailed. Article link. Fraudulent security company Cupiditas Cyber exposed. Article link. TikTok famous Korie Gray asks for boundaries and space in wake of Cupiditas Cyber scandal. Article link. Cybersecurity scammer left in critical condition. Revenge stabbing in prison yard. Article link. Korie Gray is back and we're hot about it. Korie slammed the phone down. The lights kept popping, the messages kept coming, but he couldn't look at any more. The shadow sat at the desk, shifted. Soft curls fluffed around its head. No. Korie could not breathe. The shadow stretched, running a hand through the curls. No. Korie's spine hit the four-poster. The shadow leaned forwards, tapping away at the shape of a computer keyboard. The monitor emerged as black as the shadow itself, an echo of a sight Korie knew. No. The shadow sighed. I'll come to bed soon, Kit Kat. Promise. I just need to get this done for the boss tomorrow. Korie felt his heart clunk deep in his chest. Legs gave way. He trembled and fell onto the bed, blind to everything but that shadow speaking to him in Luca's voice. Stop it. I promise, the shadow chuckled happily. Or are you going to sit there and watch me all night? Stop it. But the shadow did not stop. Fluffy curls bounced around as it laughed again. I love you too, Kit Kat. Stop! Korie tumbled over the bedsheets, stuck in a knot at his feet. The shadow raised its head. Hey, Kaylin, come here for a moment. No. I'm fine. It's this new sponsorship offer. I've been looking into them and, Kit Kat, I don't think you should take it. You're not real. I know it's a lot of money, but I can't find anything concrete on them at all. It's like a ghost company. No base, no real information, nothing. It's dodgy, babe. You're not him. Of course I'm excited for you. I'm thrilled you're finally making some money for all the hours you put in. You're not him. No, I didn't mean... I wasn't saying that. I meant you deserve it. I never said it was a waste of time. Stop it. All right, let's just go to bed. Can we? Please? Stop. I love you, Kit Kat. Stop! The shadow was getting to its feet. soft curls and long limbs. He stood just a little taller than Korie, who crawled backwards, kicking his foot free from the bedding, and yelped, "You're not him! You're not him!" "Why'd you do it?" It was Luca's voice. His voice and his shape and his footsteps. It was even the gentle way one shoulder sat slightly lower than the other after so many years carrying everything in a satchel over the left side. "You're not him! You're not him! You're not!" The door was in reach. If he could just... Luca's shadow walked closer and closer again. "Where were you that night, Kit Kat? You're not Luca." A hand came through the darkness, blackened mist taking human shapes. The joints, the knuckles, the nails. With every step it reached for Korie. "Why didn't you give it to the police?" "Go away." "Why didn't you save me?" The door handle rattled, brass on his palm. "You're not him. You're not. You're not." Bing ding bing ding. "No!" Bing ding bing ding. "No, no, 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 no." Wild eyes ravaged for the phone tight in his hand, but the screen sat blank. No sounds, no stream. Still, the trilling jingle played. "By your side, peace of mind." And as Korie stared, blue light began to flicker a twisted line in the shape's chest. Bing ding bing ding. Blue light shone. Bing ding bing ding. Blue like the adverts, blue like the pictures, blue like everything he had ever posted promoting Cupiditas Cyber. That blue. And now it was shining out from the shadow wearing Luca's form. "By your side, peace of mind." The slogan sang from the slash of blue light as it poured down out of the dark. Still, the figure walked just as Luca did. "Stop it, stop, stop!" Frantic fingers twisted the handle, tugging at the door. Bing ding bing ding. "It wasn't me!" Luca's voice. "Stop!" Bing ding bing ding. "It wasn't me, Kaelin!" He was so near, the blue light reflected in every sequin of the golden gown. And he was so near, Korie could see how deep the shimmering slice burned. Pale blue flashed again. "By your side, peace of mind." The wound dug past ribs. Blue flickered in a cruel arc where the blade had twisted deeper. Exactly the size of a crudely fashioned weapon made behind bars. Korie gagged. So that was where Luca had been. "It wasn't me! Tell them!" The door swung open and Korie barreled out. There was no care left in his body for anything but putting every distance in the world between him and that thing. Somewhere, somehow, sirens were wailing. "Tell them! Please, Kaelin, tell them it wasn't me!" "This isn't real!" And Korie ran, away and plunging down the winding staircase, along the hall, down the next flight of stairs. He did not stop, he did not look back. He could feel that blue light in his skin, could hear that tune ringing in his soul. He flew past the front door and gasped a snatch of breath, wondering desperately where to go. He didn't think he could face the vast, empty wilderness outside. And what if Vigil had been right? What if no one would ever be coming to find them? Well, he had two options. The sitting room, or the kitchens. Bile threatened to spill as he thought of all those knives. Sharp to punch and slice and stab. Korie doubled over and threw up across the entrance hall. His ribs ached. If not the kitchens, then where? Then he remembered. The wine cellar. Locked up tight and strictly out of bounds. Vigil had even left them the key, on the dining room table, ready and waiting. But getting it would mean venturing back upstairs. He ummed and ahed for a moment longer, then slammed every breath back into his lungs, then pelted up the grand staircase once more. His way was still lit by small, fluttering candles, and at every single step he braced himself to meet that shadow masquerading as Luca. But it did not come. Nothing came at all. He made it to the dining room doors, pushing them open to step inside, hurrying around the vast table to grab... But the pale razor-point key was gone. Kicking at the closest chair, Korie cursed loudly and dragged his hands down his face. Fuck. Okay. Fuck, okay. He could do something. He had to do something. Do something interesting. Vigil's words cracked in his ears. Something interesting, Korie repeated, gathering his wavering nerves. Something interesting. Okay. That brings us to the end of part number 3. I hope you are still enjoying it. This is my Halloween tale and I'm really enjoying it, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. We're nearly on page 50. Don't mind me just pausing for a dinner break. Apparently it was the nephew of some... What does that word even say? Apparently it was the nephew of some lady CC... Apparently it was the nephew of some lady C Cyber. Apparently it was the nephew of some lady CC... Kicking at the closet door? What the fuck? Apparently it was the nephew of some lady that got... Apparently it was the... Oh my god.